Sierra Leone and Ghana formalized cooperation through key agreements to drive development and regional collaboration. The country's Minister of Energy has promised Sierra Leoneans stable electricity by this time next year. And we'll also find out more on electoral justice, social accountability and democracy in Sierra Leone. Hello and welcome from wherever you're joining me tonight. I am Edima Conte. First in the news. As part of the African Union's Reimagining a Just and Resilient Democracy in Africa initiative, ECOSOC, in partnership with the Campaign for Human Rights and Development International, Chadi, has convened a multi-stakeholder dialogue aimed at strengthening electoral justice, social accountability and democracy in Sierra Leone. The event held at the Sierra Palms Hotel seeks to address systemic weaknesses, build on the 2023 electoral reforms and support long-term democratic resilience. Our reporter Isa Bangoa has more.
This high-level dialogue comes at a critical time as questions continue to emerge over the credibility of Sierra Leone's 2023 elections. Concerns raised by the opposition leaders, civil society groups, and citizens have centered on allegations of irregularities, lack of transparency, and incidents of violence. Today's engagement has brought together policymakers, election observers, youth representatives, and civil society actors to explore practical reforms that can improve transparency, accountability, and public trust in democratic institutions.
Today's dialogue is not a standalone activity. It is the opening movement of a full week of citizens' engagement that ECOSOC is conducting here in Freetown. A week deliberately designed to cut across every sphere of society. We are asking very hard questions. How well is the ACDEC being implemented here in Sierra Leone? What are the gaps? What must civil society do differently? What must government do better? How do we deepen democratic trust in our society?
We are here not by accident or asking ourselves to reimagine how do we consolidate or contribute to the progress of our democracy. We know our problem. We feel it. We experience it. What we don't have on the table now is hard pathway solution, how to address our long-term challenges.
The dialogue forms part of a broader continental effort to reimagine democracy in Africa by addressing governance challenges and promoting inclusive participation. Addressing the gathering, Attorney General and Minister of Justice Alpha Cisse highlighted gaps within the country's democratic system, while the Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, Amara Kalon, emphasized the significance of the dialogue's theme in strengthening governance structures.
Sierra Leone's democracy faces challenges. We must confront the influence of money in politics. We must address mistrust between citizens and institutions. We must strengthen the independence of our judiciary and electoral bodies. We must ensure that women and marginalized groups are not only included, but also empowered. These challenges are real, but they are not insurmountable. With courage, with collaboration, and with commitment, we can overcome them. At the conclusion of this dialogue, we expect not only increased understanding of the Charter, but also practical approaches for engaging with ECOSOC and strengthening democracy in Sierra Leone.
Today's dialogue is of such consequence. The theme, reimagining a just and resilient democracy in Sierra Leone, is not a slogan at all. It is an invitation, and if I may say so, a responsibility. It asks us not to be satisfied with the mere preservation of democratic norms, which is about elections, but to think seriously about how justice, trust, participation, and institutional resilience can be deepening in the life of our republic.
The dialogue builds on previous engagements, including the 2023 stakeholder discussions on general elections, and aligns with ongoing efforts to implement recommendations from the Tripartite Committee on Electoral Reform. Outcomes from this dialogue are expected to inform policy recommendations and action plans aimed at strengthening Sierra Leone's democratic framework in the years ahead. Issa Bangora, AWV News, Freetown.
It seems a new chapter in Ghana and Sierra Leone relations has begun as both countries formalize cooperation through key agreements aimed at driving development and regional collaboration. Let's have the reports from AOIB's Ibrahim Ramadan Jallo.
The inaugural session of the Ghana-Sierra Leone Permanent Joint Commission for Cooperation has concluded in Accra with the signing of 6 Memorandum of Understanding and 1 agreement. The ministerial meeting followed earlier technical discussion between both countries, building on engagements between President John Dramani Mahama and President Julius Maada Bio in 2025. The initiative aims to strengthen long-standing diplomatic ties and translate them into practical development outcomes. Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okuzeto Ablakwa described the PJCC as a major opportunity to turn bilateral relations into meaningful cooperation that benefits citizens. He assured that Ghana will ensure effective implementation and follow up on all agreements. Key areas of collaboration include agriculture, energy, defense and security, health, trade and investment sectors, expected to drive job creation and economic growth. Sierra Leone's Deputy Foreign Minister Francis Elgali reaffirmed our country's commitment to deepen cooperation, noting that the agreement reflects a shared vision for a stronger and mutually beneficial partnership. The session concluded with both sides pledging continuous engagement, monitoring and full implementation of a signed agreement to advance development goals in both countries. For AYV News, Ibrahim Amadanjalo reporting.
27th of April marks Sierra Leone's Independence Day, a time of celebration, reflection, and national pride. Hence, behind the vibrant parades and parties, there is often an untold story related to the civil war that scarred the nation. Now, the question is, how do people really feel after such episodic memories? AOIB's Maya Matomi takes a deep look into the mental health of citizens during this emotional period.
Over 20 years ago, this country was torn apart by a civil war that left thousands dead, displaced many more, and scarred generations. Now, as Sierra Leone gets ready to mark another Independence Day, there's a growing question: how are people really doing, mentally, emotionally, and psychologically?
Though the war ended years ago, its trauma still lingers. Some witnessed unimaginable violence, others were forced to participate. For a long time, mental health was rarely spoken about, let alone treated.
Independence, it was relatively stable.
Before independence, the country was relatively stable. We were given cups, flags, and taught the national anthem. We used pounds, shillings, and pennies. We had 6 pence, pennies, 2 cents, 2 shillings, and then 1 pound. Our parents also took it upon themselves to whitewash the streets in front of their houses.
We parents them, they take on themselves, then they whitewash the street before them place. Me go do my own beats now. The other neighbor say go do his own beats.
Instead of we go before we tell can be end with the camp.
Instead of the country progressing, it feels like we are at a standstill. We gained independence in 1961. I was 7 years old then. Look at countries like Burkina Faso, they are already progressing, but we are still stuck. Sierra Leone should not be like this. In the 1970s, a bag of rice cost 21.60 cents, but now that same bag costs 1,200. We are just deteriorating.
So instead of the make life improve, now deteriorate, we deteriorate.
Post-war recovery focused on physical infrastructure, roads, schools, governance, but the psychological wounds were often overlooked. Many suffered in silence. Now, a new generation is starting to ask, what about the healing within?
She let them put on matter, although we see them, go then the beat.
I experienced the war when the rebels put a child in a mortar and pestle to crush the baby, with the mother there to see and endure it. It was a terrifying experience. They ended up killing the mother. We fled into the bush. Our properties were taken, and now we're living with the consequences. Hunger is extreme, and the rice is very expensive.
Now the rest is there.
I've been living in a place in Bumbuna.
I was in Bumbuna as a soldier fighting for this country during the war. One night, we were attacked and we fought all through the night. I was late to drop on the ground and a bullet fired by the rebels hit my left foot, but I didn't realize it at first. I kept walking through the street with a bullet lodged in my foot until it finally gave out, and eventually I had to be amputated. One of my feet is no more, and life is very difficult at the moment. I used my NACIT pension to start new life, selling here while living with my disability.
Out of there, I get wait to say where I live so right now.
Across the country, from Freetown to Connaught, both to Makini, small but significant strides are being made. Mental health is now part of national health policy, and grassroots healing initiatives are gaining momentum.
As Sierra Leone prepares to celebrate another year of freedom, the true test of progress lies not only in infrastructure or elections, but in how well we care for our people's mind. From the silence of war survivors to the voices of today's youth, the healing still continues.
This Independence Day is not just a time to celebrate how far we've come, but also to reflect on how far we still have to go in achieving true mental wellness. The good news, help is now available and healing is possible. Maya Matomi, AYV News, Freetown.
Mercury is one hazardous chemical utilized in artisanal gold mining. This aforesaid substance continues to pose a serious threat to both human health and the environment, raising growing concerns among experts and policymakers in Sierra Leone. For details, my colleague Ibrahim Ramadan Jallo reports.
Mercury remains one of the most widely used substances in artisanal and small-scale gold mining, commonly known as ASGM. It is used to extract gold by forcing a mercury gold amalgam, which is later born to release toxic vapors, leaving the gold behind. This process is highly dangerous and is responsible for approximately 30% of global human-caused mercury emissions into the atmosphere. It poses serious health risks to miners and contributes to the contamination of water bodies, threatening entire communities.
As an organization, to see how best we can come stakeholders together to discuss about significant weaknesses into the Minamata conventions, and which are the continuous global trade of mercury and the continuous allow of use of mercury within the artisanal small-scale gold mining. So we gathered stakeholders, CSOs, media, MDAs to see how best we can discuss, and as a country, we want to see how best we can contribute to the 2027 Minamata Convention on fixing these weaknesses within the convention.
The Center for Female Researchers, with support from the International Pollutant Elimination Network, has held a one-day awareness-raising workshop, bringing together key stakeholders. The aim is to highlight the benefits of proposed amendment to the Mercury Treaty and to demonstrate growing public and institutional support for strong action.
2017, 1,200 tons of mercury were traded in 2022. 5 years down the line, it was 1,700 tons of mercury were traded, meaning 40% increase happened within the global mercury trade.
Efforts to reduce mercury use in artisanal mining remain a major priority. However, for many miners, this activity is their primary source of livelihood, While mercury continues to harm environment and human health, a critical means of survival for thousands of families. For AYV News, Ibrahim Amadanjalo reporting.
Sand mining along Sierra Leone's Freetown Peninsula is accelerating coastal destruction with serious consequences for communities and the environment. Globally, up to 50 billion tons of sand are extracted each year, and in York Village and along John Obe Beach, that demand is driving intense local activity with informal miners and truckloads leaving the coastal line daily. My colleague Victor Jones has the story.
They're young, energetic, and cheerful, sprawling in their natural habitat. But with the astronomical level of sand mining that is being carried out here, that peace and serenity that once characterized their childhood may soon vanish, and perhaps sooner than expected. In a country where the prospect of young people securing well-paying jobs feel as implorable as finding a pin in the ocean, sand mining, despite requiring neither qualifications nor experience, can offer a rare sense of fulfillment, almost like sipping a chilled drink while unwinding in the Maldives.
I survive with my life, with my family. Fishing ain't count me out, but
I'm just here to hack out a living. I am a fisherman, but I have switched profession for sand mining, which appears to be more profitable.
I support my family.
The sand mining world last 7 years because
I have mined sand for about 7 years. I was a fisherman, but I stopped. There is no requirement to become a miner. No sooner you arrive than you will start making profit. Unlike fishing, which has a lot of processes before one can start making money.
Now, the situational irony here at John Obe is that most of the young people who once fished on this very coast are the ones that are currently destroying it. But it is a dangerous environmental bargain, and choosing between surviving today, having a decent life, and risking a far luxurious future couldn't be more worrying than what you're already seeing. With sand being scooped with such an alarming speed here, the coastline is fast surrendering to its defeat, each day rendering it more fragile than the day before it.
Sand mining in Sierra Leone, especially along coastal communities like John Obe, Hamilton, and Laka, is becoming an environmental catastrophe. The impacts are clearly visible now if you visit these communities because of the changing landscape, the ecosystem and habitat loss, and the loss of livelihoods and social disruption is causing in these communities. The impact we are seeing now as a result of sand mining is coastal erosion and loss of beaches. If you go around places like Laka, Hamilton, and John Obe, we can see that the sand mining has caused environmental degradation. We are seeing loss of beaches because sand actually protects the land from sea waves. But because of the resultant consistent mining activities of sand that is happening in these areas, the beaches have become lost, they become shrinking, and we'll have lots of coastal erosion that is taking place in these areas.
Massive sand mining activities along coastal communities like Laka, Hamilton, and John Obe is not only destroying lives, but also shrinking valuable sea species. These once majestically beautiful and sprawling beachfronts are screaming for help. Who can hear their wailing? Victor Jones, John Obe, Hamilton, for Wake Up Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone's Minister of Health, Dr. Austin Demby, has described this year's ECOWAS Health Ministers' Assembly theme on advancing malaria elimination as timely, noting that Africa accounts for 96% of global cases and 97% of death, while stressing that the region has what it takes to end preventable malaria death. Let's take the highlights.
The ministers assembled here in this room are regional expressions of that same conviction that investing in health of our people is one of the most consequential investments any government can make. The theme this year, malaria control and elimination, is the right theme. Across our continent, malaria accounts for 96% of global cases and 97% of deaths. Progress has stalled since 2015. Development assistance is declining. Climate variability is expanding transmission zones. Insecticide resistance is reducing the effectiveness of tools that have served us for all these decades. Sierra Leone is amongst the first countries in the world to integrate malaria vaccines into routine immunization. In February 2024, we distributed 4.8 million insecticide-treated bed nets nationwide. Tomorrow is World Malaria Day. This year's theme, Driven to End Malaria. Now we can. Now we must. It speaks directly to this room. The tools exist. The science is clear. What this assembly decides today is the answer to the new we must achieve this now. West Africa. We have everything that we need to end preventable deaths. This assembly is where that work begins. Let me engender that we'll all go ahead and start that work now. Thank you very much.
This is Primetime News on AOIV Television and Radio. Stay tuned for more stories after the break.
Do you know you can transfer money, buy airtime, and pay all your utility bills in just a minute? You can have access to your account anytime, anywhere. Welcome to the world of fast and easy. GT Wall. With the GT Wall, you can transfer money from one GTCO account to another, pay utility bills, get account statements, get airtime, and check your balance. With GT Wall, you can buy Exa anytime, anywhere. You can go to App Store or Play Store on your iPhone and Android devices, download the app, and enjoy. GT Code. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Welcome back, and this is AOIV's Primetime News. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's take more stories. The Minister of Energy has promised that by this time next year, the electricity situation would have been drastically improved in Freetown. He made this pronouncement at a ministerial press conference in Freetown. AOIV's Victor Jones has the details.
Sierra Leone is sitting on over 40% of minerals, but much of it is being exported by foreigners. The country will be celebrating its 65th independence anniversary on Monday. But the picture doesn't look good. The country owes millions of dollars in debt to the Turkish car power ship. But the government says it's working on improving energy generation along the northern and southern corridors. Meanwhile, energy expert Dr. Kande Kole Yumkela believes the Mano River corridor will be quite crucial in these discussions as West Africa moves towards consolidating its resources in the energy and mining sectors, among others.
You can't trade power if you don't generate it. So we want countries to generate more power. We need to build more interconnection infrastructure. Right now, the CLSG, if Dr. Jallo will correct me, we're only using about 30–40% of its capacity. So it can take more power if we can generate it to trade amongst ourselves. We ourselves here in Sierra Leone, as you know, we're working on the northern corridor and also on the southern corridor. Southern corridor from Pujeon all the way to Freetown, right? Northern corridor from Fadugu to Newton as well. So we need more transmission, but we also need more generation. The logic is we all have different endowments. Some countries have a lot of gas. Some of us have a lot of hydropower. But if we trade, then we can be relatively energy self-sufficient in the region.
Around 71% of households are food insecure in Sierra Leone. Nearly 500,000 children under 5 are stunned with chronic malnutrition, and about 30,000 of them face life-threatening malnutrition, according to a 2026 UNICEF report. On this note, the Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Henry Musa Paka, thinks reducing dependence on rice importation and controlling the price of fertilizers by advancing ideas for intra-West African production for sale will bring about some reprieve.
For us, for Sierra Leone, before I go to Africa, the reason why, I mean, you can tell me, we've had diamonds and all these minerals in this country for all these years, and we're still here. I'm not saying, and there are reasons for that, by the way. The reason is a lot of these things are very capital intensive. One of the things the chairman is trying to do in this conference is for the African Development Bank to set up a, 50 billion exploratory fund, because no single country is going to know what they actually have by way of minerals, and so cannot sell or leverage what they have. And so as long as you don't, the guys that bring their money, they will put that investment. We will not know what's there. And when they sell it, we will not know what is sold, because they will tell you whether it's the purity or this or that. And they will get all that money. That's just how it is. They are in it to make money, they make the investment. We don't have that capital to do it. And so for the longest time, we've had all these minerals and we're hearing about more. We haven't moved, we haven't grown as a country.
But at what cost will Sierra Leone be hosting this summit at a time when the World Bank estimates Sierra Leone needs about 75,000 new jobs every year just to keep pace with the population growth and economic difficulties?
For the big summit, who have an interest to co-finance, we'll be looking for private sector sponsors as well. But in all of this business, you've got to have a skin in the game. There's no free lunch anywhere. So, and for investment, you have to spend money to promote investment. Manna does not come from heaven when it comes to investment. You got to go find it. So yes, government will put a skin in the game, but we hope to raise most of the money from partners and also from businesses. And we have some lined up, but that's part of the challenge now over the next 6 months.
Now, these West African leaders are laying the groundwork for a renewed push towards regional integration as Sierra Leone hosts a key experts group meeting ahead of a major economic summit that is scheduled for later this year. Now, this particular summit is being convened under the leadership of His Excellency retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, who is the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone and doubles as the chair of the Economic Community of West African States. Now, unlike traditional summits that we've had in the past, this particular one would focus on aligning policies and developing bankable investment projects in areas like the energy sector, agriculture, mining, and even digital innovation. This particular summit is scheduled to happen later on this year in November in Lungay.
Reporting for the Africa Young Voices in Freetown, Victor Jones.
But now for court updates, 3 men, including a police officer, have been remanded in custody over alleged robbery and kidnapping involving large amount of money and a reported ransom demand. Let's have the report from our court reporter Ibrahim Ramadan Jallo.
3 men, including a police officer, has been remanded in custody over alleged robbery and kidnapping. The accused, Samson Van Vikalon, Mohamed Lamin and Eric Bremer, appeared before Principal Magistrate Mustafa Bremaja at Parema Road Court No. 1 in Freetown. They are facing charges of conspiracy, robbery with aggravation, and kidnapping. According to the prosecution, the defendants allegedly conspired to rob Ibrahim Koroma on the 29th March 2026 at Hill Court in Freetown. Armed with pistol, they reportedly stole gold chain valued at $30,000, 2 iPhones worth $3,300, and a large sum of money, while also using violence against the complainant. The court further heard that Koroma was allegedly kidnapped at Juba Bridge and held at a guest house in Mile 91, where a sum of $300,000 ransom was remanded. No plea was taken, and bail for the third defendant was denied due to the seriousness of the allegations. All 3 accused have been remanded, and the matter has been adjourned to the 28th of April 2026 for another hearing. The case continues.
But that's all for Primetime News tonight. For more stories, visit our website at www.ayvnews.com. If you have any comment on the news, please do send us an email to info@ayvnews.com. I am Edima Conte. Many thanks for watching and listening.
You're watching AYV Television.
La Ferrucci, a taste of paradise. Every sip, a taste of celebration. La Ferrucci. Together, we celebrate life's finest moments. La Ferrucci. La Ferrucci, a taste of luxury. La Ferrucci, exclusively delivered to your door. Email your order or ring our number below. +2 3276 261 001.
My name is Genova J. Bangora, Commissioner General of the National Revenue Authority, and I am honored to extend a warm welcome to all our regional and international partners as Sierra Leone prepares to host one of the most important gatherings on our calendar, the WATA 2025 high-level policy dialogue on financing development through effective tax systems, and the 21st General Assembly, which will be held from the 15th to the 19th of September 2025. At the National Revenue Authority of Sierra Leone, we are proud to host these events because we believe that effective tax systems are the cornerstones of nation building. We are committed to delivering a world-class event, one that promotes knowledge sharing, inspires reforms, and strengthens partnerships. On behalf of the government of Sierra Leone, the board of directors, and the entire NRA family, I invite you to join us in Freetown this September. Let's work together to shape a tax future that truly supports the development aspiration of West Africa. Welcome to WATA 2025. Welcome to Sierra Leone.
You should do me like I do you, but never do me no favors. Don't do it, oh baby, no, no. Give it to me, I give it to you, but then I don't want your favors. Just give me your loving.
Returns una don ready. On this Goodies Volume 27, April 27, Independence Day, now Family Kingdom. All this Goodies say make I tell una say inside this Volume 27, you get for dance for yourself, not make person dance for you. Because the kind way they don't arrange the DJ there, this one get for different because it gets in your style and in your pattern. All these goodies, anytime we they come up, we they give una different flavor. And as I've been telling us, say all these goodies get different flavor them. This trip, the one that we enjoy the culture of Sierra Leone. All these goodies be done with Ami Kalon from Kenema. And this year celebration, all these goodies getting for giving the Gumbe and the Agaba, what we call Jolly. We all go Jaye together the next day. Inside that Jaye day, now then you get for see Kaba slots and Kotoku, braces, embo, bell bottom, and middle tights. It tell like this all these goodies April 27 get for sweet past the one day we be non pass. Now yonder you go see old friends and you go make new one. The diaspora demo from the upline to the Freetown City. All man get for rock palade. All these goodies can always do and boku enjoyment, small couple. The price not change and it not go up at all. Now 150 millions for make you enjoy yourself. Food and drinks go sell for price we go fit your pocket. And the drinks your side now really recommended price. Tickets go begin sell from 12 o'clock afternoon and the show go start from 7 p.m. so at 7 a.m. in the morning with all these